Milkman, the paper boy, DJ and TV. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me please.
Well, I'm glad that you guys actually decided to come to my class today.
Well, sorry, Mr. Finch. I kind of got let out of my last class late.
And I had to go to the counseling office.
I just had better places to be.
No, I really don't want to hear any of these excuses, but because since you guys are some of my best students, I'm just going to let it pass for today. Brighten up. At least we get to talk about modern times.
How modern are we talking exactly?
Let's see. About 1900 up to here.
You mean we're just going to discuss war? You didn't mention that.
Then another war? Then Russia and whoever on the Western Hemisphere got all petty.
Then we looked up a little bit.
And now we've come back around to the disaster, the end.
Okay, that's one way of saying it. But the Western Hemisphere is more than just America. And you have to actually know which war happened and who fought in it.
Well, all I know is everything went south after the Great War.
Alright. Define South, someone besides the D.
You mean Great Depression?
Exactly. What's your name again? Evangeline. Sorry about that. Would anyone like to elaborate on the Depression? Remember, today's discussion is worth 200 to 200 in summative assessment.
It all started at the end of the Roaring '20s, turning into the troubled '30s.
It all began as a normal day on Wall Street.
Okay, so I called this meeting today to discuss the statistics that's happening right now.
You mean how our normal summer recession is going?
Yes, well, according to this chart that I'm looking at, actually, it's not only the customer spending still dropping, we've already tried raising our prices to scare people into buying before it's too pricey, but still, no one's paying.
Sir, if we continue to raise our prices, then our recession isn't receding. Our market can't be justified without future earnings.
I know, I understand that, but we're at risk of shares.
What?
Darn it, Finch. How could I even let you on this team when you can't understand the simple phrases? I mean, we may need to trade some shares and let go of some employees.
How many shares? How many people have to go, Mr. Finch?
We may have to trade a mass amount of stocks, but at the moment, while we're on the topic, Finch, I'm letting you go.
What? I have children to feed.
We all have children to take care of, and as CEO of this company, I can do whatever I need to keep this company together. Now go.
First my husband leaves, now so does my money. At least the kids are out. Might as well turn on the radio. Okay.
Breaking news! On today, October 24th, 1929, the stock market is in ruins. A record 12.9 million shares were traded overall today, and many more have become worthless. All investors are going bankrupt as we see the fall of Wall Street.
All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. I've been for a walk.
Mr. President, no, what are you gonna do?
You're gonna have to hold that thought right now because we'll have to release our statements to the press later on today.
Why?
Because I said so. No further questions. Keep walking. Why, yes, it would be a good morning if your president wasn't up to here with the press. Pass me my folder, please.
Here you go.
All right, let's get this meeting started.
Sir, it's 1993, and we've left the roaring 20s behind. 6 million of our people are looking for work and can't find it, which is most likely why there's so much press. You know, like one statement to the newspaper is worth gold nowadays. Bread lines, soup kitchens, and homelessness is common. Since when is this common? For the greatest place on earth.
Okay, sir, I don't mean to alarm you, but the banks are failing. I mean, a large number of investors lost confidence in the solvency of the banks, and they demand for cash deposits, forcing banks to liquidate their loans, and their cash is insufficient, and the bank runs are sweeping the nation, and now it's causing a lot of banks to close.
That's it.
What is it, sir?
It's simple. We use the government loans to support the banks that can't pay us back later.
Democrat Franklin D. Roosevelt won an overwhelming victory in the presidential election. By Inauguration Day, March 4, 1933, every U.S. state had ordered all remaining banks to close at the end of the fourth wave of banking panics, and the U.S. Treasury didn't have enough cash to pay all government workers. Nonetheless, FDR projected a calm energy and optimism, famously declaring that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Wow, so that was interesting. What do you guys think happened next?
World War II?
Let's see. You really could have went for another event, Dominica. But yeah, okay, we can roll with that. So how did it start for all of us?
Japan bombed Pearl Harbor.
Oh, you know how it began for us, but how did it end?
Germany surrendered a week after Adolf Hitler committed suicide.
May 8, 1945, D-Day.
Oh, wonderful. And the event after the Second World War was what?
The Cold War happened, right?
Yeah, that's when Russia was being salty after World War II.
It wasn't just us and Russia. It was the whole Eastern Bloc versus the Western Bloc.
The who, what, and the what, who?
I believe she said the Eastern Bloc and the Western Bloc.
Alright, settle down, you guys. It's called the Cold War, not the Hot War.
Sorry, Mr. Page.
But did anyone else see anything? Did anything else significant happen? Let's see. You basically have over 100 years to talk about. You gotta give me more, you guys. Maybe try somewhere else besides here. Something else went on besides the Cold War.
Have you heard of the October Crisis?
Oh, such a shame. You don't even know about your own neighbors. The October Crisis was a rare period of violence during Quebec's quiet revolution and otherwise peaceful effort by Quebecois politicians to gain greater autonomy within the English-dominated Federation of Canada.
The Liberation Front did what? And why am I just not hearing about this? I know I'm just labor minister, but I as a government official have the right to know when the British Trade Commissioner is seized by a tiny militant separatist group. How long has it been? 5 days? Are you kidding me? We are Canada. We don't get down and dirty like this. That's our neighbor's job. Now I like more information.
What's going on? Who are you?
What's that boo talk? I never heard someone talk so much.
I said it's an idea. Come on, Moose. He'll see for himself soon enough.
Feel the force, for sure. We've been expecting you.
Mouse, pull the storm. Go fetch his other friend while I load up the propane.
That's really cool. Where could they be? Where could they have taken him?
I think you should get your computer.
Salut, detective. Comment ça va?
Fickle, how did you?
Silent sweet. That does not matter. What does is that I have a location on your precious government officials.
What have you done with them? Jay demanded des response. You vehement still.
I'd stop right there. The anger from the loss of your brother burns bright in your face. And I pass their fury comme un femme avec la pâté.
What do you want?
In exchange for their lives, release 24 of the convicted FLQ, no matter what charges lie on their backs.
That's preposterous.
That is our price. You shall obey or else.
Believing the situation to be out of hand, Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau responded by proclaiming the War Powers Act, under which the FLQ was banned. Some civil liberties were suspended, and thousands of troops were sent to Montreal. In a series of police raids, more than 400 Quebec separatists were taken into custody and held without charges. On October 18, the body of Pierre Laporte was found in the trunk of a car near St. Herbert Airport. The apartment building holding Cross and his kidnappers was discovered in late November. After a tense standoff, the kidnappers agreed to release Cross in return for safe passage to Cuba for themselves and their families. Laporte's kidnappers were later arrested and convicted of kidnapping and murder.
All right. So you got me with that one.
Thank you, Mr. Finch. We tried.
Hold up. What type of government organization was going on during that time?
I mean, it was a federal constitutional monarchy. It has a crown with the monarch as the head of state and governor general as vice regal representative.
Then it branches out to, the queen and council, the queen of the bench, and the queen in parliament.
And how exactly did the Quiet Revolution work?
Well, the Quiet Revolution was a period of unbridled economic and social development in Quebec. It was a byproduct of Canada's 20-year post-war expansion and Quebec's position as a leading province for more than a century before and after the Confederation. It witnessed particular changes to the built environment and social structures of Montreal.
Smart. Well, like I said, very impressive, Rosa and Hadid. But can anyone else top that?
Well, I might have a little something.
Really?
I shall tell a tale of the Falklands War. It was a 10-week war between Austria and the UK over two British overseas territories in the South Atlantic, the Falklands Islands and South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands.
Chief Commander!
Yes, officer.
What day is it today?
Friday, April 2nd, 1982.
And a fabulous Friday it is. Guess what? We have finally hit land. Tell the others we're boarding off now.
Get to moving.
These are our lands, inherited straight from Spain. Today we occupy the Falklands. Tomorrow we claim South Georgia. Then it's onto the Sandwich Islands. We will reclaim our sovereignty, our responsibility since the 1800s that the Brits have stolen. the lands of extensive rangeland, farming, and grazing livestock that are ours.
You guys, Miss Sterling, the reports are in. The Argentine Navy is trying to capture the Crown colonies. There has also been sighting of an aircraft.
Well, we're gonna have to assemble a task force to handle this. We'll dispatch forces today. We'll have to engage in combat with the Argentine Navy and the Air Force.
Let me see this. That's it? This is all we're gonna do. We own this land. 150 beautiful years, and that's how we're gonna respond to this?
Well, what do you think we should do, Mr. Finch?
Well, Miss Everrose, besides engaging the Navy and Air Force, we'll launch a whole offensive military operation, the kind that uses Navy ships to project ground and air power onto a hostile or potentially hostile shore ATA designed landing beach.
You mean the amphibious assault? What shore would be stationed?
Well, yeah, for sure. Over there, where?
Right here, San Carlos.
And then we'll go where? We have to launch our attacks to somewhere.
Okay, so then we'll go to Goose Green.
And moving on to...
Let's see. Stanley.
And the weapons we'll use? I don't see.
Yeah, okay.
What do we have? Let's see. What do you think about this? Alright, so the AS-12, the French Bull light anti-missile. We can fire it from Westland.
The Westland Wasp helicopters?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what about the Seawolf? You know, the naval short-range, low-altitude surface-to-air missile used to complement the longer-range Sea Dart. It proved capable of engaging low-flying aircraft.
Well, that's perfect, except what about aircraft?
Let's see what we have. Use the Sea Kings from the Naval Air Station.
Air
Good
Squad?
idea.
Squad.
Right. Somebody get on that. I'll run another report. Okay.
Commander, what's all the noise out there?
The British are coming.
What should we do? We're on the move for other islands and...
Silencia, we fight. That's what we do. When you want something, you fight for it. We've come this far and there is no way in all the heavens that we're going back.
Well, I'll go make sure the troops are ready for battle.
The Battle of Goose Green lasted a day and a night, and was fiercely fought with many dead. British troops were hugely outnumbered, but ultimately were successful. Victory meant British forces were clear to break out of San Carlos and begin the long march east towards Stanley. Carrying 120 pounds packed on their backs, the troops fought their way across the pig bogs of East Franklin before mounting their final attack on the last line of Argentine defense, the high ground around Stanley.
Commander, I was thinking.
You're just saying that because all the lost we lost. I wish you would understand that sacrifices are necessary, Chica.
We need to surrender before this gets uglier than it already is. Our defenses are breached.
Our defenses are what?
Breached, as in ruptured, through, done for.
I can't believe this. All this work and for nothing?
We should have just let it go when the Brits first came and avoided all of this mess.
We're going to have to surrender today.
And every now and then,
Miss Sterling, Mr. Finch, we've won. Stanley was liberated.
Great.
Argentina surrendered.
well, that was pretty wonderful, Dominica. That ends today's class discussion. I'm going to take roll before the bell rings. Let's see. Because it seems I haven't done it yet. Dominica?
Right here.
Okay. Hadia?
Here.
Rosa?
What's up?
Evangeline?
Here.
Okay. You are dismissed.
Oops.